Welcome back to another episode of Sip the Salad Films. I'm your host, Coach Evans, and today we have a special edition. We're going to talk a little Game 3 versus the Dallas Cowboys with one of my favorite YouTubers and one of my favorite players of mine, Vach Lombardi. Welcome in, Vach.
Hey, man, appreciate, when the Cowboys win, I may wear some Cowboys paraphernalia, but, when you lose, I'm just wearing whole nother colors. I ain't wearing nothing blue, just, what I'm saying? But, hey, man, Natchez, though, hey, come on now. Shouts out to Natchez, just in case anybody watching, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to us.
Shout out to the big town of Natchez. And speaking of Natchez, I got something to show you. Check that out. Can you see that?
Nah, I can't see, but hold on. I got it on the. Hold on.
No. I got you. Give me 1 second. I got you. That's me. I hadn't did it yet. Here you go. Okay, so you'll be able to see it in 1 second. Let me get this situated. Settings. Share screen. Main screen.
Man, boy. Man, boy, look at y'all. I don't even know this man next to Woodard. Who is that? I don't even know that guy.
Wisner or Courtney?
I wasn't even outside. Neither one of those fellas. I don't know. That must have been the first year.
That was the very first year we got there. So I think you had to have been maybe 7th grade.
Yeah, you was me and you.
Me and you go because I was your coach that year.
We was together. Yeah,
me, you and Woodard. Yep. Me, you and Big Woodard.
Yep. So man, look at y'all, man. Time fly, don't it? You sad? You upset?
You do.
You hurt?
So at the time, this guy in the middle, I don't know if y'all can see my mouse, but this guy in the middle was the head coach. The dude with the biggest head up there. Yeah. Well, the black dude with the biggest head, because this is another white dude up there with a huge head.
Huge.
But the black dude with the biggest head was the head coach. This dude to his right is the head coach now. Which is Steve. He's the head coach now. And all of us was on the staff at the time. This dude that I'm circling right here, at one point, was the strongest teenager in the world. This is Jason Wisner. Played at Mississippi State, and at one point, he was the strongest teenager in the world. This guy I'm circling now was he's a head coach back in Mississippi now. His dad is legendary as well. And obviously, y'all know this young fella right here that I'm circling. That is me.
Wow.
That is me.
That's old school, man. I got all the old pictures. I got all the newspaper stuff. I got everything that ever came out of the Democrat, just anything, anything when I was outside like that. I got all that stuff just in an old shoebox. And I got some on my phone here, man. So like if you ain't doing nothing later, I just, send something over there, share it with you. We ain't doing nothing else.
Exactly. So let's kind of dive on into this little Cowboys / Baltimore Ravens talk. And I came into your chat maybe after the game, and I told you that you didn't have to worry about something because we was ass.
Yeah.
And your reply was, well, we just gonna have a nice ass off because we ass too.
Yeah.
But I was at work early and on my lunch break, and I had Steele's video playing, and he brought up your guys' injury list.
Yeah, he's great.
And so what's going on with the injury list? Because it looked pretty big.
So it's big because we do list guys that's just kind of resting as an injury guy, and Thursday and Friday's report is always a lot more, it's a lot more telling. So just because somebody did not practice or whatever, DNP or whatever, Wednesday, like, all right, cool, you might just be on a veteran day, recover, whatever. But what's kind of jumping out is Diggs with the foot and Lamb with the ankle. Now you can kind of get the vibe about what's really going on by the coaches and beat writers and all that. So if they could be like, oh yeah, Lamb is dealing with an ankle or something, right? Like if they just say dealing with an ankle, just words like that, then you can kind of chill out or whatever, right? But if it's turmoil on the chat, if the timeline looking wild and ridiculous, if we panicking, if Jerry Jones coming out saying something or whatever, then you might have a little bit to worry about. So yeah, CeeDee Lamb may have an ankle, but I think it's an ankle like everybody got an ankle, and it's CeeDee Lamb's ankle. So you might want to sit him down, because he's one of your guys. But I think it's an ankle to where he can go Sunday. I don't think it's one of them big ankles like that.
And for us, the guy that kind of stood out and kind of scared everybody was Kyle Hamilton being on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's a huge issue, but he was limited. He didn't practice. So that's and again, like you said, with that being Wednesday, and that's the first real get after it day in the week for him. So it may just have held him out for precautionary reasons, but he's a integral part of the defense, even though it ain't playing the greatest on the back end right now. The ability for him to be able to do during that anything on the football field, he's a integral part of that. And if he can't play, that's a huge blow for Baltimore and makes us very vanilla on
Sure.
on that side. Because if he's in there, we got the ability to disguise a lot of stuff
Sure.
and be in multiple personnels, but be in the same personnel. If you get my drift, because he can play so many different positions.
Yeah.
But if he's out, now you got to rotate and shift guys in to do different things and whatnot. Ronnie Stanley's on there for ankle, and he held his ankle a couple times during the game, but I think that's just a precautionary to let him go. Van Noy's on there also with his iron growing, but that happened 2 weeks ago in the first game, and he still played and got a sack. And Nate Wiggins was in a car wreck. And I don't know what's going on in Baltimore. These people up here can't drive.
Yeah.
It's like the third or fourth player that got in a car wreck this season. But me and one of my followers going at West, we seem to think the Raw Room wreck issue is happening. Have you heard about that? Have you seen what happened on Raw Room, the podcast Raw Room?
I have not. What's going on with that?
So Raw Room has one of the Panthers coaches on there and some old football players. And they
Oh, yeah. Okay,
they
cool.
talked about people not like in college, they'll be late and they'll do the whatever, the run the stadiums or whatever. But once you get in the NFL, they ain't taking that fine. They say they'll rather wreck their car than be late for a meeting, and they'll call them like, "Hey, I had a wreck, come get me," rather than take that fine. So we starting to think like with all these wrecks in Baltimore, like the traffic must be bad or something, man.
Y'all just late.
I'm gonna pull over and let me hit this pole real quick. Long ain't gonna hurt me too much. But you ain't getting this money.
That's horrific.
Too many.
That's horrific. Risking your life just to not be late. It must be some. Well, it depends, man. If you like a top tier player with a lot of money, man. I mean, these late fees may not be all that bad to you, but if you're a bottom of the roster player, a late fee might be your game day check. So yeah.
And the thing is, their practice facility
is
on a two-way. Like a lot of the Natchez roads is one way each way.
Yeah,
they practice facility on a road like that.
They ought to fix that.
But it does open up to a nice area.
Sure.
But as far as to get to it, one lane in, one lane out.
Well, I hope it ain't all that bad, man. I hope they get that taken care of, because you don't want to see players in accidents, because there was a theory going around. I was talking to some other Cowboys fans. We was talking about Mark Andrews. Like, since he got in his rig, he kind of looked like an old dude a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, maybe that got something to do with it. Maybe that was a real wreck, and maybe the other ones is like just nonsensical or whatever. But I hope everything all right. I hope Baltimore just ain't that bad to drive around in. I hope.
We'll see. Let's get into the meat of why we're here. And first, we'll start off with the Cowboys defensive line play.
Sure.
Y'all got some guys up there, mainly starting off with Micah and crew. And Michael's the big name, but he ain't the only name up there. So what's going on with your D line? How well are they playing, and what are some names we should look out for other than Michael?
Man, first of all, depth is important. So I think this is the first piece of the ass Olympics. Is once all the good players come off the field because they may be tired or something like that, boy, it turned into boo-boo after that. So of course, Micah Parsons is a dog. Tank Lawrence, he's the other edge guy. He's a dog. He lines up in B gap sometimes, does some great things in the run game. Osa Odigizua, 97, the 3-tech. He's another guy that can get upfield, penetrate, slashy guy, strong guy. I think he's a really good player. But boy, once you get past them three, Olympics. If you can get past them three, we don't have waves of guys that can just come attack you. If you've been tuning in to Cowboys news, there's an off-season acquisition. Jordan Phillips. We got him from the Giants. Last year he was with the Bills. He played the worst game of football I've ever seen him play in his life. It was horrific.
Is that the guy that got put on IR?
That's the guy that got put on his IR because he was like, look, Jerry Jones like, he hurt. And he was like, I ain't hurt. And everybody like, your ass hurt. You know what I'm saying? They put him on IR, and he'll probably get that little settlement deal or whatever. They'll pay him for a couple of games and they'll just cut him. That's just what it looks like over there. Horrible miss. horrible missing Phillips. If you watch the Saints game, you see him in B gap or A gap, and people just one-on-one blocking him. And if you can one-on-one block a down lineman, that means it's easy to get to the linebackers and things like that. So it's easy to run the ball against teams like that. When Osa comes off the field, when Mozzie comes off the field, when you saw Jordan Phillips, they ran right at him. So he's off the team, and I feel great about that. I am applauding the salute to the
Salute
for getting him all the way up out here. That was the worst half of football I've ever seen from any down lineman. And besides that, I mean, you just got some regular dudes, but I think that's what D-line in the league is. You may have a couple of horses, 2 or 3 guys, and then you just kind of got some other guys that just fill in the gaps. But I don't think the Cowboys got great fill in the gap guys.
Now, talk to me about the greatness of D-Law and Mike. What can we expect out of those 2 guys?
Hey, D-Law is one of the best rundown D lineman in the whole league. And I say D lineman because if you look at his stats, at end, he's like top 5 as like a run defender, but they also put him in B gap sometimes. He's also top 5 as a tackle, as a run defender. So D-Law, not this year because the Saints went crazy last week. So please don't look up this year. But historically, D-Law is a top tier run defender. And I think y'all are going to have to block him and, deal with him. I was watching the Ravens offensive line. I think y'all have some good players on the offensive line, but, well, Coach, let me explain. I like Ronnie Stanley.
Give you that.
I like Voorhees.
Okay.
I like Voorhees. I think he got a lot of room to grow. I like Linderbaum. Falele is hot ass garbage though.
Oh, okay.
Coach, that's the second leg of the ass Olympics, boy. Coach, some got to give right there. Our terrible defensive tackle playing B gap. And Daniel Falele, let me tell you what's most upsetting about him. And I'm draft guy, so I was watching him in Minnesota also.
Mm-hmm.
If you gonna be that big and your feet gonna be bad, I at least want you to be strong as big as you are.
People, we ain't had no pre-stream meeting about Falele.
We haven't talked.
Keep in mind that as close as we are, we ain't talked about this dude.
Mm-mm.
And he just summed up everything that the entire Ravens nation has said in the past. How many tapes you done watched? What, these first 2 games?
I've watched the first 2 games, and I just kind of peeked at last year a little bit in passing, but these first 2 games for sure, yeah.
It's crazy because, and I said this last night to some people, the entire Ravens nation is in unison over the fact that this dude is still playing. And I mean, like the people that's in the middle, like the logical people, the people that the Purple Patrol that feed into everything that management and ownership and coaches say, they in unison, and the rebels. The rebels are the ones that don't give, like, fire the coaches, fire the upper management. Everybody's in unison with get 77 out of there. Yeah. And in my times of doing this, those 3 factions have never said the same thing.
Yeah.
Never.
Wow.
And then he came out the other day and said that cat won the job. And that it's tape saying that he's the better guard.
Nah. Hey, look, let me tell y'all. It can't be that bad over there. It can't be that bad over there in Ravens land. Look, man, I was watching the man, and I'm an offensive line guy. I'm all in a 5, make 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm that kind of guy. But boy, just because you good at left guard, don't mean you right. Don't mean you good at right guard, man. Falele is not. He ain't it. He ain't it. And like I was saying, man, if you big like that, I at least want you to be as strong as you are big. But he's slow-footed. He turns. He leans because he's tall.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't strong like that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm watching Falele, something we do over on my channel, Find the Scrub. We play a good old game of Find the Scrub. If I'm Micah Parsons or if I'm Mike Zimmer, DC for the Cowboys, I'm taking number 11. I'm putting him right over 77. I'm taking 90. I'm putting him right over 77. If I got a 1 tech, I'm putting his ass in B gap. I'm putting him right next to 77. I'm going to go find him and just hope everybody else kind of holds up a little bit. I like what the rest of the offensive line does relatively. I know there's a little bit of rotation at the right tackle trying to figure out what y'all doing there. But for the most part, I think your left side is what the line is in the league. Like offensive line in the league ain't that great at all. Right. But boy, the right guard sticks out like a sore thumb. And I think that's going to be one of the most important parts of the Ass Olympics, Coach, is that you guys are going to have to run the football. And, quarterback spy versus Lamar, that can go here or there because he's dynamic or whatever, but speeding up his clock is important. Speeding up his clock, bringing his eyes down a little bit. You don't want him making these big plays after scrambling around, keeping his eyes up 50-yard plays. That'll absolutely kill you. But if you're going to attack him, there was this one play versus the Raiders. He was scrambling around, moving around. Zay was in the slot on the left side. He came across the field and he went back and he ended up catching the ball big on the left side. Lamar had to run around because Falile was being ass over there. So go find him, and I think we'll have a better day, assuming that we go.
And I will let you know that the Chiefs did that with Chris Jones,
as they should.
And the Raiders didn't have to do it because they just put Christian Wilkins there the whole game.
Yeah,
and Max did his thing out there too.
Mm-hmm.
But to talk a little bit about our defensive line, I don't know how much of those guys you had a chance to watch, but them cats, they're finally living up to what we expect. When you look at Matabike, who had the 13 sacks last year. Michael Pierce has always been stout in the middle. He's hard to move. Mm-hmm. But that goddamn Travis Jones has showed his ever-living butt so far this year. He's slimmed down. He's gotten stronger. He always had good feet. And I don't know how much you've seen of Travis, but he had a play Sunday where he took his right arm and clubbed the dude across the head.
Yeah.
You would have sworn he stabbed that dude in his forehead.
Yeah.
He fell back a couple of steps, and then he was just right there with the running back saying, "Come here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Come here." And he's starting to get pressure on pass rush like that play right there on the screen.
Sure.
He just bored Creed Humphreys.
Yeah.
Creed Humphreys, one of the best centers in the game.
Mm-hmm. And
he just bulldogging it. And then you starting to get pressure from the O's.
Yeah.
And that's Ojabo and Oweh.
Yeah. When
you slide Van Noy in there doing his little savvy veteran thing.
Yeah.
Up front, we doing our thing. And that's part of the reason why we're first in rush defense. So I like them front four. And then pass rush wise, I don't think I ain't seen everybody yet, but I just like when we have Ojabo, Oweh, Matabike, and Travis Jones up there in pass rush situations, even though we're going to get the pass rush, but we stinking pass rush right. We stinking passing defense right now. But
sure,
they get home and they defend the run and the pass.
Yeah. I'm not going to give you no homework because that's your job. You know what I'm saying? But if you look back to the draft conversation we had, it was like 2022 or something like that. And I was like, hey, man, the kid from UConn didn't play like 5 years or something like that. And I just remember going on this campaign for him, like, hey, man, why we not talking about Travis Jones a little more? Why not going on Travis Jones a little more? And seeing him fall to the third round, I believe it was, seeing him fall to round 3 to the Ravens, right? I'm like, hey, man, the Ravens just don't overthink it. They just draft the best guys that are there. And seeing him go crazy. And it's interesting, right? Because it took Justin like 8 years to get going or something like that. And Travis is just fresh off the box, playing strong, playing physical. So I think you absolutely have to praise him in that way. But this is the next leg that we talking about in the Ass Olympics here is our O-line versus y'all's D-line. Our tackles, I don't have all that much faith in them. I don't have all that much.
Don't give it up. Yeah, we're going to get to them.
All right, we'll get to this. Okay, so we'll say the third leg of the Ass Olympics. But if we just talk about the interior Cowboys offensive line versus the interior Ravens D-line, that's going to be a fantastic battle. Fantastic battle. So you got Zach Martin.
You got a dude. Yeah, that dude right there.
Zach Martin is an all-pro, but Zach Martin ain't the one that you should be worried about because he's an old man. He's not I'm going to whoop him 10 out of 10 guy anymore. Zach's about an 8 out of 10 now. You can get a couple of plays off on Zach. But 73, the left guard, Tyler Smith. Keep eyes on him. If y'all ain't doing nothing else, just watch film on him. He's
formerly left tackle, right?
Left tackle.
He filled in for Tyron when Tyron was hurt.
He is good enough to be a guard in the league, and they say, hey, we need you as an emergency as a rookie, and he'll hop over there and play it. But his home is at guard. I think he's much better at guard because he just get to go in there and wrestle in this phone booth. And I think that's going to be where most of your top tier fights in this game. This is the opposite of the Ass Olympics. We're going to have to come up with a different word for this. But our guards and centers, and I'm including Cooper Beebe in that. He's a rookie, but offensive line is Voltron. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the time it's two of us versus one of y'all. So BB plus Zach Martin is some tough that you'll have to deal with. BB plus Tyler Smith is a tough fight you have to deal with. So as far as the interior, because you made sure to slow me down a little bit, we just talking about guards and centers versus ones and threes. I think that's going to be a clash of titans. I think that's going to be a fantastic battle, and whoever wins that is going to have a major advantage in this matchup.
True. Let's slide back to the linebacker play.
Okay.
So with you guys, last year you guys, I guess with the guys the head coach in Washington now, you got, and I don't know if it was because you guys had people hurt or if that's just the style he wanted. You kind of took smaller guys and put them at linebacker, which was the reason Marquise Bell had a chance to get a bunch of tackles and play a lot last year. But at FAMU, Marquise was a safety, and when he came into the league, he was a safety. But for you guys, he played a lot of linebacker. This year, I know you brought in a guy from I think Minnesota. What's his name?
Kendrick. His last team was the Chargers. Yeah,
Chargers. And a name that I've heard a lot is Luafau. Is that's how you pronounce that?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if Luafau is starting, but talk to me about your new guys that's playing linebacker for you.
Hey, the linebacker room's night and day, Cole. And look, don't watch last week's film because all of them got beat up on because of your D line there. But you was mentioning Quinn and his system or whatever, right? And sometimes the coaches work in tandem with the GMs and executives and all that. So Quinn didn't hold on to some of the linebackers that we had, but instead of going to get help at linebacker, he was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just take this older linebacker that got a broken down body. I'll take this young linebacker that's out here guessing, and I'll take Marquise Bell, who's 205 pounds, and just make him play will with not great D linemen." So it was very easy to run on the Cowboys last year for that reason. But now you got linebackers that can run, and you got linebackers that can fly around and hit, and they all around 230, 240. What Cowboy Nation has been waiting on is to see Parsons at linebacker, because just like you guys and your safety, right, Hamilton or whatever, right, if he's moving around, that's when you're at your best. Ambiguity, dirty in the looks, moving guys around, and being able to play everywhere, muddy in the looks, makes it better for that whole defense. What Cowboys have been waiting on is for Mike Zimmer to move Micah around, right? If Micah's only the right defensive end and he's got his hands in the dirt and he's in a 4-point stance and he's versus the run, I don't think that's where Micah's really good. Micah pass rushing there, you can leave him on the line all you want to, but I think Micah's really good when he's in A gap going up against a center that got bad feet, or in B gap versus your 6'7", 380-pound center, right guard, 6'8", pardon me. You know what I'm saying? Running around him. I think that's where Micah's best. So we're talking about linebackers. I think Micah should be mentioned in that conversation. Whether he is there or not, I don't know. Luafau is a guy that we like a bunch, but he's a rookie, and rookies aren't going to always get the favor. And when he's in there, he's made some fun plays bouncing around, but I'm more so looking at him for next year. But Overshown, he's
18.
18 is Damone Clark, who ain't good, who was a linebacker last year. He be guessing and losing himself. But I mean, he looks good when somebody's on the field being like, "Hey, counter right there. Hey, outside, hey, look, draw a screen." But if you ain't got nobody smart on the field, Clark, 18 is out there guessing. But 13, if you watch Cleveland, 13 is all over the field. He's running guys around, great length, solid size for a linebacker, but great instincts on him. So Cowboy Nation was livid when he led your team in tackles in week 1, but then he played only like 18 or so snaps last week. We like, "Hey man, what the hell going on? Where's number 13 at?" And they came up with some excuse about, "Oh well, Overshown is used in the sub packages. We don't know we don't use them in the base formation." I'm just like,
it's false. No way.
Y'all ain't got a lot of me, dog. So I think the coaching staff is going to get over themselves, and I think we're gonna see a lot more 13, and he's a guy that I have a lot of faith in running all over the place.
Cool. With our linebackers, you kind of know what you get in Roquan. He is thought to be the second best linebacker behind Fred. Me personally, I don't think he's lived up to that this year, but I also think he's worried about not just doing his job. Because we have, we lost Queen, who's another All-Pro beside him.
Sure.
And we have Trent Simpson there, who's extremely athletic, extremely
Ex-safety.
gifted.
Mm-hmm.
What was the word you used?
Ex-safety.
Was he a safety at Clemson, or did they just move him out there? I know. What's the coach at Oklahoma? Venables used him differently than whoever the DC was at Clemson. Now they play basically two different positions.
Sure.
And Venable used him right. Whoever the DC is now, kind of used him and like as a straight backer, and he didn't look very good at that. But he's starting to shape out of that. But I think Roquan is really just trying to compensate for him and make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And his play is kind of, I ain't gonna say fell off, because he still had 11 tackles last year. But it just, last week. But it don't seem like he's having the impact that he has. But once Simpson figures it out and Roquan doesn't have to like babysit him as much, I think you're going to get a better player than Pat Queen. And that's saying a lot for me, because I'm a Queen fan.
Mm-hmm.
Because Simpson, I think, is stronger. I think is faster. I think is more athletic than Queen. And the thing he has on Queen already is he's a lot better tackler in year 2 than Queen was in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now, they're trying to figure it out on that side. Like all of them, they just trying to figure out, because they having communication issues. They're having issues with who's supposed to go out who when motion happens and all this kind of stuff. So they're just, new DC, new linebacker. When you lose an all-pro, as much as a lot of people didn't like Queen and they don't like him now because of the stuff he's said since he's left, which is him just embracing his new team, and people just don't see past that.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. It's going to take time. But once Rowe get him in order, we should be there. And Simpson beat up sometime with that guess and be in the wrong gap. Sometimes be two people in a gap. But he's so athletic, he'll come back and make the tackle. And then he made a play versus the Chiefs where, Pat get out of there and do his thing, and he saw somebody wide open. And Trenton jumped up there, tipped the ball, and then almost picked it.
Yeah. Got to block him, though. Got to block him. That's basically the key with a lot of these linebackers, man. If they get the run free, they'll give you issues. Same with y'all, same with us. But if you can get to the second level and actually cut them off properly, then you can have a better day. But if you just let these athletic guys run free, you'll have a problem for sure.
Right. I was telling somebody the best way to block a linebacker is to not even put your hands on him.
Yep.
Is the double team whoever the defensive lineman is in front of him up to him where he can't see.
Yep.
So if you take the defensive lineman up to the linebacker, you don't even have to put your hands on it.
That's a rule. That's a rule.
He can't see.
Yep. That's a real life rule. Like when in doubt, just take the tackle and dump him on top of the linebacker, and cool, we did our job. Because what happens sometimes, Coach, if you overthink who's blocking linebacker, somebody will leave early and leave the combo leverage in a bad, situation, whatever. Like, hey, I'm blocking half a guy and you just leaving early. I'm still stuck on half the guy. If we just take him and dump him on top of that, because at the end of the day, the running back is going to choose the daylight anyway. And if the daylight is to our side, then cool. Running back, us two, them and them, let's just all go together, and you'll get more daylight eventually. But everybody ain't patient like that. Don't nobody learn lessons like that, because they wasn't brought up like we was brought up. It's all good,
right? With that great foundation, foundation.
Yeah, I go.
Let's slide on over to the DBs and secondaries. The secondary rather. What's going on with? I know y'all got Diggs back, and Bland is out. If I'm not mistaken, is Bland out for the year? Correct?
No. He's out. He's on IR, and he got like a 6-week injury. So I don't anticipate him being back to like week 9 or something like that.
So other than Diggs, what y'all got back there? 'Cause I know my guy ain't playing that much no more. That's Bale.
Nah, man, Mark. But he probably need to be. But as far as the corners go, we got a young guy in Kalen Carson, 21. He had a good day versus Cleveland, but a not so much good day versus Saints. I think with corner, you just basically live and die by what the front 7 guys do. So if we chasing Watson around and he running for his life, I think it's easy to play corner. But if the Saints really got a hold on what they doing and they, moving with a purpose and they double motioning you and the pass rush really can't get there, then you can probably be picked on as a young corner or whatever. So he had a good game 1, but a rough game 2. It is what it is. That's how life works. Besides that, Jordan Lewis is a savvy veteran. He's not a guy that you're gonna, jump off the film and say anything about, but he's a solid player, comes up and tackles in the run game. Trey Diggs is a superstar, And he's coming off the ACL, and it does look like he's having any like lingering effects or whatever. So he's cool. I don't really think you're gonna have much of an issue with with the or much of a battle with the outside guys. I was about to say that this could be the fourth leg of the ass Olympics. Who's your Bateman versus Carson? That could be like the fourth leg of the ass Olympics, but I do think that Flowers is going to have a really like a really good matchup with whether I don't think it's going to be Trey all the time, but I think mostly it'll be Jordan Lewis. So you have the veteran versus the young bursty playmaker. So we'll see how that goes. You got tight ends queued up in a little bit, or you just want to go ahead and run into them now?
We can run them. We tight ends go with this.
Okay, so cool. I was interested to see how to attack the Ravens from a passing standpoint, right? Because what you got to do is you have to consider the idea that y'all got two tight ends. They're not really inline tight ends, like they're mostly away from the line of scrimmage. So
big slot.
You got two big slots, basically. One of them I like a little more than the other one. I like tight end 2 a little more than tight end 1, but that's my business.
Whoa. Who's tight end 1?
Mark Andrews by default is tight end 1, right?
Whoa.
Okay, so y'all see things differently over here. All right, so cool. Isaiah Likely, tight end 1, cool. So Isaiah Likely's the guy. So what you have to think about is, you can only have so many linebackers on the field at the time because y'all still spread it all out. So now what we got to do is be like, all right, so do we take our linebackers and run around with Lamar? Do we take the linebackers and put them on these tight ends? Do we take corners and put them on these big tight ends? Like how do you manage that relationship? I think it'll be interesting to see how the Cowboys do that. But if I'm afraid of anybody, I think it's Zay, and I think it's Zay, Likely. Zay.
Okay.
Zay and Zay, Isaiah Likely and Isaiah Flowers, I bet that's what his real name is. So I think those two guys are the ones that can do the most damage to you. Bateman and Carson is ass Olympics. I wonder what they do with Diggs in terms of outside guys. I don't think Diggs is going to be the guy to go into the nickel and chase Zay around. Zay's a little twitchy for Diggs to be running around with him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Our secondary, on paper, they're good on paper. You look at Marlon Humphreys, who had a pretty good career. Brandon Stevens, who I think had a better last season than Marlon because Marlon was kind of hurt. Then we drafted Nate Wiggins, who was one of those guys that's been in the wreck. We got Kyle Hamilton. We got Marcus Williams. Picked up Eddie Jackson, the longtime Bear from Alabama. And then we got some younger guys that kind of fit the room, and we drafted TJ Tampa, some more guys. So on paper, our secondary is thick.
Yeah.
But you are what your numbers say you are. We're the last ranked passing defense in the NFL.
Sure.
Not Stephon Diggs. Devontae Adams. We really didn't have a plan for him. I put a video out yesterday, just off the top of my head, and I was looking at it. He got too many free releases. The week before that, Travis Kelce. Too many free releases. Then Brock Bowers was destroying us. So I don't know, are they just finding holes? Are zones too soft? Like we're not getting pressure when we play zone. We don't have the cojones yet to play man. I'm not really sure what's going on because our front four is too good for us to be last in pass defense unless we're just straight, like you said, ass in coverage.
Yeah,
because that don't add up with as good as our front four is to be that bad in pass coverage.
You can kind of let it slide when the Chiefs out there doing a little something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, all right,
understandable.
Cool. That's
understandable.
That's patting them, right? But the Raiders was not excusable. You know what I'm saying? Like those, like you are a much better football team than those guys. But they play like it was their Super Bowl and they got it done. I don't think the Ravens are going to let the Cowboys do that to them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not how life works. A team can go out there and be the worst team in the league, play the Cowboys, and they just give their best effort. But I think y'all just
the same way.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all just gonna have to play Lamb differently, I guess, than y'all will play normal guys, because people look at Lamb like he's a slot guy. He's really an everywhere guy, but he's in the slot when it matters, So I don't know if y'all gonna travel a guy with him or just like play straight up. Y'all might just not even travel or whatever. I haven't seen y'all travel.
We didn't do anything special to Devontae. We treated Devontae like he was a regular dude.
That's
like nobody traveled with him, no brackets. We treated, and at time to time he was on one-on-one with whoever. We didn't do anything special to Devontae. We treated him like he was Joe Schmo from Fayette.
Sure. So in my mind, and that's exactly where I was going with this. Like, if y'all don't give CD any special treatment, I think that's where he can really get off on you there. But I think the most important matchup is the Cowboys dealing with an injury right now with Ferguson, tight end or whatever. And to your point, when you look at what happened with Kelsey and you look at what happened with Bowers, it'll lead you to believe that tight end can have an advantage here if y'all run out there doing the same thing. So Ferguson's kind of hurt. If y'all got to deal with like our second, third, and fourth tight ends, Schoonmaker and Spram, guys you never heard of, don't worry, I ain't gonna say their name. If we run those guys out there, then I don't think y'all gonna have much issues with tight end. But if Jake Ferguson is there, great athlete, great yak guy, always on the same page with Dak and all that kind of stuff. If Ferguson plays, I think that'll be a great matchup with us. But if not, then just don't worry about what I said. Just don't worry about me saying. It's not like y'all so bad versus the tight end. Our second tight end gonna come in there and go crazy. Nah, Schoonmaker ain't gonna do that. But if Jake plays, I think that'll help us.
Since we already kind of started on it, let's just get deep off into the wide receiver conversation. CD, Cooks, and the rest of those guys. And don't forget about Turpin.
Man, don't worry about Turpin as a receiver. Turpin as a return man should definitely give you some worries, but we ain't talking about teams because teams don't exist. But Turpin as a receiver, man, don't you dare lose a night of sleep over Turpin, Tolbert, or anybody not named Cooks, Lamb, and Ferguson. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about no run game. Run game is ass Olympics by themselves. It don't even matter what y'all bringing to the party. Cowboys run game is ass Olympics on his own. That's his own event. So Lamb, Ferguson, Cooks, if those guys get going, then we're gonna have a little party. If not, don't worry about it.
Man, cut it out. So Brandon Cook.
Yeah.
He's just still a speed guy, as he goes over the top of the Browns on the screen.
Cooks has turned into much more of a savvy route runner guy that runs deep on occasion. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I think he'll be a really good wide receiver 3. But he's wide receiver 2 for us because that's just how life works. So if we had another wide receiver, I would feel much better about Brandon Cooks. But I think it's more so about like play calling, and just us not having a scheme that gets him open, because he still can run. We just don't do it. So if we don't do it, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I think when Ferguson is healthy, right, tight end 1 Ferguson, then you expect double-digit targets to Lamb, about 8 targets to Ferguson. I'll say about 5 or 6 targets to Cook. If Ferguson is out, we've looked crazy and ridiculous. So I hope he's playing. But besides that, hey man, Cooks is like a serviceable dude, and I think he's being carried by the quarterback at this point. But that's my own personal business. But he does get a lot of touchdowns on his past 6 or so games. He's caught like 5 of them. Last year, he started off with like no touchdowns, but after the bye week, he got 8. But he only got like 600 yards. So I guess you could look at him like a red zone guy. Like once we pass the 50, he's a guy that really gets going or whatever in terms of scoring. But he'll only get like 40 passing yards in the game or something like that. Nothing impressive.
So to speak about our guys, you talked about Likely, talked about Mark, and they, I was cracking a joke. I think Mark's still considered tight end 1, but Likely's just been getting the most production since Mark got hurt last year and at the beginning of this year. And I think Likely can do more things. You can like Mark's more of a, I ain't gonna say an old school tight end because neither one of them really blocks. And maybe the only tight end that still blocked this day is probably Kittle. But those 2 guys are threats. Bateman, if we were an on-time throwing team, like a timing West Coast type team, Bateman would be a lot bigger threat in my eyes. And I come to realize that just recently. If we were, how when Joe had Jerry, and it might be little bit too old for you. But when Joe had Jerry, it was 3 steps, and he's throwing to a spot, and Jerry's gonna be at that spot.
Yeah.
And not saying Bateman is Jerry Rice, but I'm just saying that style of offense where you had to be at a certain spot, and the quarterback was gonna throw it to a certain spot.
Sure.
I think that would fit Bateman because he's not good at the off platform, the backyard, the different type stuff. Because we had a play like recently where he ran a curl. Linebacker was sitting in his window.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have the wherewithal to move to another window. He just sat there like,
yeah,
this window closed. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, stand right there. just and move around. What's wrong with you?
And as far as the other receivers, I thought we was gonna have a guy that could at least make people play too high, but he's been hurt and inactive the first 2 games, and that's Tez Walker.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tez can do anything but run deep.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't had him active to run deep. And I'm telling you, I think just putting him out there to run deep will help everything else out.
That's all he did in
He
college.
ain't got to catch but 1 or 2 balls.
Yeah.
But just getting people out the box gonna help because everybody want to play too high now.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, and not trying to add salt to the wound, but y'all was a victim of it.
Sure.
Shaheed.
Yep.
You Tez Walker could be Shaheed.
Yeah.
Splitting safeties, making people respect that speed, and then you can do everything else you want to do. Because that's all they did. They had Rashid against y'all. You had to play too high, and Alvin Kamara outside zoned you to death.
Yep.
I charted Kamara's runs today. He had 20 runs, 19 of them were outside or inside zone. They ran 1 counter.
Yep.
Simple. Football ain't as hard as people make it.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Mm-mm. Run until you stop it, huh, Coach? Just that simple, huh? And Coach, sometimes I run into the issue to where, look, man, I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera. I don't know nothing, man. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But some stuff I learned when I was like 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, I've been wanting to tell this story. I guess I'll save the story for your show. Then how about this? I was on social media today, right? And there's this big hubbub about cover 2. And what's his face came on TV today. Kuiper came on TV today saying we should ban cover 2, right? And he sounds like a character that's never played football before. Because I remember I had an offensive line meeting. It was one of these Sundays, Saturdays, after the game, had to go lift weights or something. And on the board, I remember you talking to your guys. You just wrote a list of cover 2 beaters. And I learned them. So I'm saying I wasn't supposed to learn them, but I learned them. And I was like, oh, this is how you beat cover 2. So how come people in the league, or I'll just say analysts or whatever, I'm sure the team, the people in the league know this, but how come analysts, Mel Kiper in particular, how come he looks at cover 2 as like an unbeatable play when they have things called cover 2 beaters? You know what I'm saying? Why is that? Why is that the case? And I learned that when I was 15 years old listening to Utah.
And the thing is, cover 2 it has evolved.
Yeah.
Rules have evolved. Everything is matched and whatnot. But still, if you run offensively, because if you know the rules, you can draw stuff up to manipulate the rules.
Flood, bench, smash, still get it done on every level.
And then if they run in a match thing, just put 3 people over there and run a guy up the seam.
Yep.
Run a guy up the seam and still do your regular stuff, you should be good.
Yep. Now
if they go man and they guys are better than yours, now you up shit creek.
Yep.
Because the thing is with defenses, if they go man and they got guys that's better than yours, ain't nothing you can really do.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing you can really do if they go man and they guys better than yours.
Long story short, I just think people like pro football people make it a little more complicated than it need to be. Mike McCarthy does that a lot. That's all I gotta say about that. Like Mike McCarthy have a game where CeeDee Lamb will go in motion like 70% of the time, and we go crazy on offense because that helps your offense. Very next game, we may do it like twice and get whooped. Hey man, do what's working, dog. Like what you overthinking your matchup for? Do what's working. Right. But I ain't gotta go there, Coach. You know how I go.
All right. So let's talk about
May I ask you a question, Coach?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think Derrick Henry running out of the shotgun is productive to his run style? Do you think he should have like a 7-yard head start and then run forward, or do you think running out of shotgun is detrimental to what he does?
I think it's detrimental.
Yeah,
I think we should be under center or pistol to maximize Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Now he can do some shotgun stuff because he's a pro and he can do it.
Yeah.
But to to maximize him, I think we need to be under center or pistol. And not saying have some shotgun stuff in there, but to get the most out of Derek, because I mean, look at what he's done over the course of his career.
Yeah.
Most of that stuff has been either pistol or under center. And then that will unlock Lamar in boot action, which we have never seen, which and the NFL hasn't seen.
Crazy.
Would be another part of his game that would. I'm telling you, if we did that type of stuff, Lamar could win it again on top of us winning more games.
Yeah.
But like you said, we just a guy with a camera and a mic.
I don't know nothing.
We don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing, man. I was just watching them.
I'm gonna start using that.
I don't know nothing, dog, because look, sometimes people like, oh, Vach, you act like you're an expert. Nope, I am not. I just simply know. I just simply know this and this and this and this. I don't know nothing. But I played center before. This is what it was like when I played. I'm just doing the camera and the microphone. I don't know nothing. Just is what it is.
Stuff in football is secular.
Yeah.
It just comes back around.
Yeah.
Because outside zone been a concept for forever.
Since I was 15 years old.
Everybody loved counter and power and duo and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that was coming back to be prevalent.
Yep.
And they tried to change the name, wide zone.
That's the same thing.
36 stretch.
That's the same. That's what the guys are saying. Look, duo is a new word, right? People been going around calling it duo. I'm like, oh, well, they're CAG blocking or like center and guard. Like that's CAG and tag blocking. I got that. I guess I just got old verbiage for it. But like, why are we calling it new names? Just call it what it's been called. Like, I mean,
it's still inside zone to me.
It's all inside zone, coach. It's all inside zone, coach. But it is what it is.
Inside zone. But
yeah, what it.
So the I think we're gonna talk about the third part of the Ask Olympics now. O-line and running backs for you guys.
Man, I don't even want to include y'all in this, man. I don't even want to. We got a rookie right tackle. I mean, pardon me, a rookie left tackle. Mm-hmm. The right tackle play like a rookie sometimes, but the rookie left tackle Tyler Guyton, great athlete.
Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma. Great athlete, phenomenal looking player, and man, I refuse to be told you so guy, coach, because you know, told you so guys look a little kind of way. But I actually had an attitude that the Cowboys drafted Guyton because I just don't like fixing players on the go. Mm-hmm. That ain't my game. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Tyler Guyton was a really good athlete, one of the best athletes I've ever seen play left tackle. But he bends at the waist. He leans, he misses with his hands, his feet look goofy, even though they look fantastically quick at the same times, but where he put his feet are weird sometimes. So when we drafted Tyler Guyton, I was like, damn, boy, I ain't want to work on the project, man. I just wanted somebody that was going to roll in here and just whoop ass day one. That's just what I was thinking. Tyler Guyton has a really cool practice versus Michael Porter. It was practice, coach. It was at camp or something. He has a really cool practice, and everybody, got on Vach, man. I'm not going to be told you so, guy, because nobody like them. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Tyler Guyton has had some weird. He's had a weird 2 games, man. He had a weird 2 games. His first game, Myles Garrett was involved. There's a lot of things that your offense could do to keep your left tackle safe. Our offense did less of those things to keep Tyler Guyton safe versus Chase Young. And boy, Chase Young had a party over there, boy. Chase Young was having. You watched the film. He was having a party, and I'm not gonna be told you so, guy, because don't nobody like them. But it's going to be some growing pains along the way. Luckily for y'all have the Cowboys in week 3, and the growing pains still hurt. So y'all can take any one of your characters, preferably somebody strong, and you can run down the middle of Tyler Guyton. And look, I don't always recommend pass rush run down the middle of people. Sometimes offensive linemen let you. Mm-hmm. You can run down the middle of Tyler Guyton. You can have a little bit of success. You can build some pressures. You can add some stats and make your case for the damn Pro Bowl if you just throw him over there at Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton ain't ready.
In week 3.
But we'll take some tight ends and throw them over there. We'll take a fullback. We actually got 2 fullbacks, Hunter Lipke and Ezekiel Elliott. We'll just throw them over there, and they'll chip to help, and they'll chip in.
I'm just laughing at that second fullback.
Don't worry about it. And they'll go over there and chip and help, and Dak got to throw the ball a little quicker. I feel like if we were able to hold the ball a little bit more, we may be a little more explosive as an offense, but we got to get that ball out quick, man, because we got a young developmental left tackle, man. Your right tackle had a phenomenal year 3 years ago. He got hurt, came back, and he had to recover from that. But I think Terrence Steele, our right tackle, 78, is just kind of like a solid player at this point. But he's not absolved from getting whooped up on. So that's the rundown on the tackles. I think the Ravens are going to have a tough, as good as your defensive tackles are, I think y'all going to have a tough fight with our guards and center. But y'all edges, it don't matter what you think about your edges. I think they're gonna have a cool little day versus our Yo, chat. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all know who Carl?
Center?
Huh?
Who's the center?
Cooper Beebe. He's a rookie too.
Okay.
He's a rookie too, but at least he's played football for 4 years. He's strong, and typically guards just don't get drafted that high unless you like special. But he's a really strong player, played guard now, and now he's at center. But center is Voltron, so Cooper Beebe and Tyler Smith is special. Cooper Beebe and Zach Martin is special. Tackle is a little more intimate. That's how I like to call it. So it's really just you out there, and you just fighting your fight. So Owe and Ojabo, hey, go get him, player. And
the question you had.
Chat. Do y'all know who Carl Granderson is? It's cool. I'll wait and talk to coach while y'all think of it. You may know who Carl Granderson is because you get down and you do this for real. I mean, I watch film, but if you just a casual fan, you don't know who the hell Carl Granderson is. But he went out there and beat the hell out of Terrence Steele that day. Then they put him on the other side. He took some turns beating up on beating up on Guyton.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't he get cut from the Lions?
Man, what?
Last year? I think he got cut from the Lions last year.
Who? What the name is? How was he whooped us? he got a sack and a half against us. It don't matter. So yeah, man. While y'all trying to figure out who the hell Carl Granderson is, I think if you have a guy that's slightly better, put him against 78 or put him against 60. 60 is a horrible tackle number, by the way. And yeah, just don't fear our run game. It ain't nothing to think about. We got 2 fullbacks, 2 running backs, and one of them 5'5". So don't even worry about it, man.
5'5" when you just on the screen. That would be Deuce.
Deuce Vaughn might be the best running back over there. I'm just not confident enough to say it loudly. But yeah, it's a mess over there. Y'all ain't got to worry about.
All right, so let's talk about our side of that coin. Let me throw these inside runs up here real quick.
As far as y'all side go, I mean, y'all have strong defensive tackles, but
let me get my ass Olympics off.
Like run game stuff?
Yeah, my turn to get the ass Olympics off.
Please.
So we're gonna start with the good stuff. Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum. We talked about them earlier, and they're solid. There's no reason to really have any faults, with those guys. A healthy Ronnie is a good Ronnie.
Yeah.
And even though he had an off day yesterday from practice, I think he's fairly healthy. I hope there was no re-aggravation of that ankle, because we did see him hold that in the game Sunday a couple times.
Yeah.
Linderbaum, we know, is one of the top 3 centers in the league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Creed Humphreys, and I forget the guy's name from
Ragnar.
Detroit.
Right.
Yeah, Ragnar. I think they're the 3 elite guys now. Voorhees is technically still a rookie because he was injured at the combine, so I count him as a rookie, and he has his ups and downs, but I like his upside. We're shifting Makari and Rosengarten. I think Rosengarten really solidified that spot Sunday with his handling of Max Crosby. And if he didn't solidify that spot Sunday, I'm really even more upset with what's going on with our O-line. Because Max was certified dominating, and Rosengarten went in there and kind of, I ain't gonna say shut him down, but significantly slowed him down.
Mm-hmm.
And even Howie Long talked about it today. Somebody had sent me a DM of something of Howie Long talking about it. And if they can see it, I know the coaches can see it, and other players can see it. But the thing with Rosengarten is he just don't have enough bricks in his pocket. And like you said, once he get his grown man body and he get an NFL offseason, he'll be better in the run game. His pass blocking is outstanding.
Great feet.
Great feet, great movement, all that stuff. Change directions and all that good stuff. Kick slide and all that. Great length too.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't move people when we do that counter and power stuff, which we still want to do for some strange reason. Oh, Chris Long. Thank you, Blitzbacker. Chris Long. But like you said, Falele is dirt balls.
Yeah.
Like
what
he dirt balls. Like
shit.
he trash truck juice.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he'll win a rep or two simply because he's so big
large
to go around.
Yeah.
And he got long arms. But there's a rep with Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins really didn't give him a move. he half-ass arm swiped him and just went right around him like a turnstile. Anytime Falele has to get the second level, he never gets there. If we do something outside where he has to get in space and maybe try to get up, he can't get there. Down blocks, he allows people to cross his face, and you know what happens if you let somebody cross your face on a down block.
Yeah.
They right in the hole.
Yeah.
So all the stuff that you want a big guy to be at guard, he's not. Now, does he have some positive reps? Yes, because if you play 75 reps, you're going to have, your share of wins.
Mm-hmm.
But at O-line, you got to have way more wins than losses to stay up there.
Yep.
And at least try something different. My thing is, even if Ben Cleveland is in your doghouse, you got a guy that started almost every game for the Houston Texans last year, no matter how good he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's Josh Jones.
Yeah.
And, or put a Rosengartner in and slide McCarry in the guard. But you can't keep running Falele out there. Because like you said it on one of the plays, Lamar had to, soon as he got the ball, he had to turn around and run and then throw across his body to save Flowers. So John Harbaugh is basically pissing on our head, telling us it's rain, talking about Falele is better than Cleveland. Because that's baloney.
Yeah, man. Cleveland must be in one of them don't work hard, says something crazy about the coach's doghouses, man. Because Falele can't be just beating them outright. Cleveland ain't fall off like that.
And Cleveland had a good game versus Christian Wilkins last year. Well, Christian Wilkins last year when we beat Miami, I think week 17.
Mm-hmm.
And so a Ravens guy that kind of do like highlight stuff, he put out a video showing that, like why he can't play. And and so you look at the recent game with Falele versus Wilkins, then you look at last year's game, not even a year ago, with Ben Cleveland versus Wilkins. Wilkins ain't fell off, and it's night and day.
Yeah. So
that's bull jive.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to quarterback. What's going on with that? How is he playing right now?
He all right. You know what I'm saying? He's doing I think he's doing what's asked of him. If you beating the hell out of Cleveland, you ain't got to throw the ball around too much. You beating the hell out of Cleveland, when we go ahead to put actual yardage up versus the Saints, I think Dak had a really good game relatively, or a really good first half versus the Saints. But when you can't run the football and you playing from behind, quarterbacking is a little different, when they force you to throw the ball, it's a little different. When they're up and the Saints ain't even punt till like the third quarter, man. Like it was bad. Like the first 5 drives, they had 5 touchdowns, dog. And I'm like, man, we driving. I don't know if we're gonna get to this point though, but I think Dak needs to be paired with our kicker, Brandon Aubrey, because Brandon Aubrey is our lead scorer. I'm not joking. He'll he had like 18 points last week, and before that he had like another 15 or something like that. Like he's legitimately like one of your best offensive weapons, and it's because he can kick from the 50, 60, and he wanted to kick from 70. Like he was confident about kicking from 70. So what I like about having Aubrey paired with Dak is, man, you can just kind of go out and run your offense. And I would like for Dak to not press, because when Dak presses, he throws the ball to the other team, but most quarterbacks do, right? Mm-hmm. But if Dak just plays, we go, damn, boy, we just barely passed the 50. Aubrey can kick it from there, So I think having a kicker that can do that gives me a lot more confidence in my quarterback or whatever. But if you watch the Cowboys last year, and I don't expect you to do this, if you watch the Cowboys last year, the first 6 games, Mike McCarthy tried to implement his footprint on everybody, right? He tried to do this old West Coast, a bunch of dragon concepts, slant, flat nonsense that Jerry Rice and them was doing. But at some point, we was just getting whooped and we was looking terrible. And he was like, "Hey, yo, Dak, I need you to take over and save our job." And Dak went out there and he finished second in the MVP. Now, when a whole new year, Mike McCarthy said, "Hey, man, we gonna build on what we did last year, boy. We're gonna come out here and we're gonna try to get this West Coast right." And man, we look crazy a couple weeks on offense, man. You know how it go. And last year, what changed was CeeDee Lamb went to go pout. Mm-hmm. And people hate diva receivers, but diva receivers gets it done. You hear me? CD went there and powdered. He said, "Hey, bro, I should be getting the ball a little bit more." Hey, we started to feature CD, and we go on this run of fantastic offense. So I think Mike McCarthy just needs one more time to get powdered at and go, "Hey, Dak, hey, listen, man, can you save our jobs, please?" And if you put it in the hands of 4, I think he'll save a lot of people's jobs.
Selfishly, I love that CD powdered last year because him and Dak went on a run, and I had both of them in fantasy. And I tore that league up.
Oh yeah, they went crazy last year. They went crazy.
It was a league in our little cigar lounge that's here locally, and I had free stuff about it all the way up to June.
Man,
I was living lavishly.
I will say this though, Coach. I'm starting to feel like, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, please. This is just some dialogue. I'm starting to feel like that scheme is a little more important. Not all the way important, but it's a little more important than like actual quarterbacking. Like your quarterback is important, but a good scheme will make a great quarterback phenomenal, a good quarterback great. You could be an amazing Justin Herbert in a bad scheme and you look crazy out here, right? I don't think Derek Carr just rolled out the bed a brand new quarterback. I don't think that's how it works. But man, when you go out there and implement what the Saints did offensively, it's a beautiful thing to watch. You look at him, you look at what CJ Stroud and them doing in Houston, you look at what they're doing in Detroit. Like those offenses look different than old people offense. You know what I'm saying? So even though Dak can be called a dynamic quarterback, he can finish second in the MVP to y'all's guy and all that kind of stuff. I still think the Cowboys are missing like some offensive coaching. Offensively, I think the Cowboys still missing that.
Case in point, look at Brock Purdy.
For sure.
Brock Purdy, is in a great scheme. Now Brock is better. Brock is a better QB now. I don't think Brock is sorry anymore. I got to give Brock his props. But initially, Brock was an average or below average QB in a great scheme.
Yep.
With great players around him. Derek Carr has showed up, and they look like a totally different offense. And just quickly talking about what the Saints did, they run outside zone. You got to come up to defend that. They're going over top with their one speed guy, and then they're going to hit Olave, who was their best receiver, in the intermediate stuff.
Yep.
It's simple football. It's simple football. And where you're, I ain't gonna say where you're weak at, they're just gonna dictate to you. And when you make adjustments, they have an adjustment for your adjustment. So far.
Yeah. So that just is what it, and look, same thing with Natchez. You run the wing tee your whole life, you're gonna lose, man. But you come in there with that, with that brand new, it just brings new life to your team. You know what I'm saying? So hey man, Mike McCarthy is a cool head coach. I think he does some good things, but if his ego gets in the way and we can't run the football properly, I think I have an issue. Because even if you look at Alvin, like people was looking at Alvin like his last 2 years going, all right, Kamara, you ain't the guy that you once was with Sean Payton. But man, you look at his last 2 games, man, Kamara got new life.
Right.
He got new life in this scheme, man. So I think the Cowboys are missing a lot scheme wise. And if y'all gonna take advantage of us, it's because Mike McCarthy is just a novice.
I want to give you a poster for Ass Olympics, okay? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, watch this.
Let me see if I can.
Just calm down and watch this. Ass Olympics.
Boy, that's so horrific. That's so damn trash. Boy, that's so look, I was looking around trying to see who's the ass, and boy, it just jumped out expeditiously, boy. You can't miss it. You can't miss the right guard over there, boy. The right side, really. But you can't miss the right guard, dog. Like, man, what's going on with your boy, man? He ain't tried.
I don't know. And I see, like, I'm getting alerts on my phone. They interviewing Monken, so he talking about the O-line. So I'm gonna go see what he talking about in a minute. But like they interviewed the head coach yesterday, and they so scared of that dude, they ain't even ask him about the O-line no more. The reporter scared of him, but I think they be revoking passes when you ask him something you don't want him to.
Oh, that's trash.
It is what it is. So in closing, we got the Cowboys versus the Ravens in Cowboys Stadium, a 4:25 kickoff time. So it may be a national game. I don't remember. Do you know if it's a national afternoon game or not?
It shouldn't be. We 0-2 and 1-1. It shouldn't be, but I mean, it probably would be. I'll look it up right now.
2 big names. MVP, number 1 and 2 in the MVP voting last year. I think I dipped over in your stream when it came out, and a lot of people were saying that got robbed.
Yeah.
Last year.
It's probably gonna be a national game because they're really hyping up Tom Brady talking about it, broadcasting, and he's just whatever. So we'll see. Let's see. It looks like it's going to be a national game or a Texas game, and a Minnesota is big over there. Baltimore. Oh no. Pardon me. That's a whole nother game. I'll let you know. We'll look and see.
Some people in the chat saying it's national. I know it's 425. I do know that. Well, 325 for you, but 425 for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna ask for predictions because it's still too early for that, and you really don't
it's national. It's
the
national.
only time you want predictions in the ass off is not for TV.
Yeah.
It's gonna be not for TV.
2 in the morning on BET or something. That's the only time.
Tip drillish.
That's the only time. Diddy in trouble for ass off right now, so I don't even want to say
that. Exactly. But again, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Always fun to have you on and talk ball. And again, I appreciate putting me on and starting me on this journey. And if you don't know, this is the cat that got me started in this game. Just suggested that I do it, and it has evolved into what we have now. Happy to have him on as I recently hit the 10K mark, and he's been one of the ones that pushed me behind the scenes, man. So if you don't follow Vach, please go over there and do so. Where can the people find you, Vach?
Vash Lombardi, you know what I'm saying? Type it in. Ain't like a whole bunch of Vash Lombardis out here. So hey, type it in and you'll find me. Appreciate you. I ain't had to do a whole bunch of work, man. Hard work gets it done, and you did it. And it's hard to get 10K, boy. You can ask anybody that's ever tried to do YouTube at all. 10K, we can make 10K look easy, but boy, 10K is some nonsense. So the fact that you got 10K and you relatively early in your career, like what you like 3 years in now?
However many years Lamar here, that's what I am. I came in with him.
Okay, you came in with him
4 or 5, something like that.
Hey man, 10 is a fantastic milestone. I hope that I wish that they give out a lot more YouTube buttons. Like, man, give 10K YouTube buttons, man, because you in the top 20% now, just being at 10K. And trust me, man, I know this almost being at 100, man. It's hard to come out here and just work hard every day and just get these subs, man. So hey, man, you did it. And you are a bright voice in the Ravens community or whatever, and you are reputable, and you actually did it, and you coached, and you lived it. So hey, man, shouts out to you, man. Good job.
Appreciate it. We I looked up some stuff about Natchez not too long ago. It's getting this 10K. There's almost as many people left in Natchez.
For sure.
Almost.
For sure. Demographic wise,
it's 13 in Natchez.
1,000?
Yes.
Damn, boy. I mean, I guess we all left and went to Houston, but
we left and went to Atlanta and different places.
Yeah. 13,000. Well, that's crazy, man. But hey, you about to be bigger than Natchez then. So shouts out to Law Nation too. He's also from Natchez. So shouts out to you.
So you got 2 big Cowboys YouTubers from our hometown. That's Vach and Law. Law over 100, Vach right on the cusp of 100. Then you got little old me. That's at 10. But I'm happy with my 10. We're gonna keep on pushing.
Hey, 10 is plenty. 10 to change your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me though, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Always good football talk. The chat seemed to enjoy it as well. And hey, appreciate y'all for hitting that. Let me see what we have with these likes. Let me see. Oh, we hit 100. Hold on, let me give y'all points. I've been giving the points. I ain't said nothing, but I've been giving y'all points in the background. So we give away stuff at the end of the month over here, and they have to get their name on that wheel. So that's what they doing. That's why they chatted up and be chatty over here, and I appreciate all of them for doing that. Yeah, so on that note, man, we're gonna give Vacho about here, let him get back to his work, because I know he got to do something with Brian today, because they be grinding over there, boy. They put out videos on top of videos on top of videos. So, and I got some stuff to do over here myself.
Grease hot, coach. Grease hot.
Hey, fish grease, baby.
I got one more to show you, coach. Hold on. I got one more to show you. Y'all let me dummy signal one time. Y'all let me dummy signal one time. They don't know nothing about that though. No. You saved all the stuff. I save everything. I'll share it with you. I got game scripts. I got DVDs with all the games on there. I remember every single play. I remember.
Did you remember Mark put that video out recently talking about he knew you was a star? You remember that a couple days ago?
Yeah, I seen it.
You saw my comment?
I did not. What'd you say?
I think I was the first comment under Mark's video. I said I knew he was bright because he learned offense in 2 weeks, and not just his position, every position.
I learned the signals he had today too. I'll tell you why. Look, I'll tell you why though, because we had a quarterback, very, very, very talented, but his voice wasn't deep. his voice was just squeaky, right? And we weren't like a super nuanced offense like back in the day or whatever. But when you start talking as an offense, you can move quicker, you can do more things offensively, man. So instead of him having to give us the call, and he'll give us the call, but I'll look at you and you'll give the signal, and I'll just have us lined up, and we'll have 13 more seconds to go, 12 more seconds to go, and 5 seconds calling the play is a lot. So we was able to be much faster. I ain't give myself flowers in that, but we was able to be much faster when I can look over and just immediately line us up on offense. So
especially when you're trying to do tempo, because we were trying to go fast, and if you knew the signals and you can go ahead and communicate to the O line whatever the blocks are, we can go fast, and we to keep it a buck. We weren't the best teams out there, so we had to use any advantage we could.
Sure.
So tempo was our advantage because we always had guys that can run. And we had to line up fast and run plays fast and not allow you to disguise your stuff. So once we got you in cover 3, we had to keep you in cover 3.
Had to keep you there. don't change nothing. Don't change. That's hilarious.
Go from there.
Yeah.
But all right, good people. We had an hour and 10 minutes, so we gonna go and get up out here so we can do that work. I appreciate all of y'all. And y'all see me soon because I'm gonna give y'all my picks and my power rankings for the week. So that'll probably be coming at y'all probably in another 2 or 3 hours. It'll be before the Thursday night game, so be on the lookout for that. I got to get all that situated and do I got my research done. I just got to get the graphics and stuff ready. So I see y'all soon, man. Peace and love. Appreciate your watch, and we out.
Salute.